In this video, I want to share with you 5 things I've learned from what some could say is one of the most successful and well-known immigrants of all time. But before I do that, let me share with you a little bit of his background and exactly what he was able to accomplish starting out with basically nothing. In his book Total Recall, Arnold talks openly about his upbringing, growing up extremely poor with no warm water and very little clothes or resources in a small, depressing town in Austria right after the World War. He knew at a young age he wanted to use bodybuilding as a way to escape and move to America. Eventually, he was able to make this dream come true after being discovered by Joe Weider in 1968. When he got to America, he had just $55 in his pocket, a small bag of clothes, and couldn't speak a word of English. But using these 5 powerful lessons I'm about to share with you, he turned this all around and became one of the greatest bodybuilders ever, winning 7 Mr. Olympias and 4 Mr. Universe titles, becoming a millionaire from real estate before the age of 30, and went on to pursue another one of his childhood dreams of becoming a movie star, along with being one of the highest paid entertainers of his time, with his movies grossing over $1.7 billion. Arnold also went on to marry a Kennedy, became governor of the state of California, and has been remarkably active in philanthropy and helping mentally disabled kids use sports and bodybuilding to gain confidence and improve their life. So after this amazing list of accomplishments, let's learn some of the strategies he used to achieve this in such a short amount of time, starting with number 1. You must have a clear vision and goal to direct you exactly where you need to go. Arnold said, "You can have the best ship and crew, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, the ship will drift around and go nowhere." This is the same with life. If you don't know exactly what it is you want, you will have no purpose or motivation to accomplish anything. This is one of the main reasons that causes so many people to be depressed or working a job they can't stand. As Henry S. Truman said, "If you don't have your own goals, you'll be doomed to work towards someone else's." At a young age, Arnold had the goal of moving to America and becoming Mr. Universe. Once he had this goal so clearly laid out in his mind, he began visualizing moving to America and becoming a champion in bodybuilding. He knew every rep, set, and weight he lifted was getting him one step closer to turning his vision into a reality. This is why he always smiled when working out. Even when he had to squat 500 pounds or do 1,000 sit-ups, he knew exactly what he wanted and already felt like he was lifting the trophy over his head, standing in front of thousands of screaming fans, chanting his name, with the rest of the bodybuilders looking up at him. Arnold states, "Always discover your vision and the rest will follow." Number 2, ignore the naysayers. When you have big dreams, visions, and goals, naturally people around you are going to say it can't be done. Don't ever let them stop you. In every one of his careers, whenever someone said that it was impossible, he heard it's possible. When they said no, he heard loud and clear yes. When they said it can't be done, he heard it can be done. Arnold says, if he would have listened to the naysayers, we would have never heard of him, as he would have never left Austria when they told him he was crazy for thinking he could move to America without any money. When he wanted to transition from bodybuilding to movies, the directors laughed at him, saying his body is overdeveloped and the new things are the little guys like Dustin Hoffman and Woody Allen, and his name was too long and strange and would never be put on a billboard, and that he talked like a machine and his voice would scare people away. They told him to go open a gym chain or health food stores, and maybe they could find him little parts as a bouncer, wrestler, or Nazi officer. But he didn't listen and knew if he worked at acting as hard as he did at bodybuilding, he would become a famous actor someday. He never let go of his vision of becoming a leading man, and eventually, after getting a few small parts, he got his break, landing the role of Conan the Barbarian, which would set his career off. At the film premiere, the director said, "If we didn't have Schwarzenegger with that body and muscles, we would have had to build one." In The Terminator, the line, "I'll be back," became one of the most famous lines in movie history because of his crazy accent. Before all the things the naysayers said were liabilities, he was able to turn them into assets. Number 3, never think small. If you're going to accomplish anything, you have to think big and aim for the stars. Arnold says, people are afraid to fail, which is why they think so small. But failing is part of life, and you're not going to succeed at everything you try. Plus, how far can you fall? Look at the ground. That's as far as you can fall. The only way you're considered a failure is if you fall and don't get up. He never considered himself a failure, only a winner, because even though he failed sometimes, he always got up and kept moving forward. In bodybuilding, he didn't just want to compete with the other bodybuilders or even be a champion one time. He wanted to win the most titles ever and be the greatest of all time. Same within the movies. He didn't set out for small parts. He wanted to be a star and one of the highest paid actors of his time. In his book Total Recall, he talks about how he would always visualize and carry himself as a leading man, even when that dream seemed so far away. When it came to politics, he didn't go race for city council or even mayor. He went straight to the top and ran for governor. But not just any governor. Governor of the greatest state in America, California. He even said, could you imagine seeing Schwarzenegger for city council? It had to be governor. This is why it's so important to aim big, because even if you don't reach that target, you'll most likely end up further than you would have if you were only aiming for a small goal. And if you do fail, it's not all that bad, and hopefully you learn something you can use when you go back at it again. Number 4, life is reps, reps, reps. The more repetitions you do, the better you will get. If you put in the time and reps, you don't have to worry when the cameras come on. Arnold always believed in working your ass off because no one ever stumbled on success by accident. You never want to fail because you didn't work hard enough. He loved the quote by Muhammad Ali when the reporter asked him how many sit-ups he does, and Ali replied, "I don't know because I don't start counting until it burns." That's what makes a champion. No matter what career you pursue, no pain, no gain. Arnold talks about making every hour count. He knew the day had 24 hours and never wanted to waste one single hour. He never let tiredness or fatigue be an excuse for not working out or going to acting classes or reading another book. He believed in leaving no stone left unturned. He knew it would take thousands of reps to hit a pose perfect on stage or even add the tiniest bit of muscle on. Same with delivering a punchline in the movie. He practiced hundreds of times until he got it perfect. And when he was governor and had to give a big speech to try to inspire people to believe in his vision, he drew 55 lines on the top of that speech, as that was the number of times he rehearsed it before giving it live on stage. Why? Because he knew there was no second take, and this might be the only shot to get them to go through with the project. When you put in the work and do the reps, you don't have to worry when it's time to take action. Number 5, don't overthink. If you think all the time, the mind can't relax. The key is to let the body and mind float. Then when you need to make a decision or hit a problem hard, you're ready with all your energy. By not overthinking everything, you get rid of the garbage that holds you back and brings you down. He believes turning the mind off is an art and a form of meditation, as overanalyzing will cripple you and cause you to freeze. The more knowledge you have, the more you are free to rely on your instincts. Like a boxer brings a ton of knowledge to the ring, when to jab, when to duck, when to throw a combo, but he still has to rely on his instincts, because if he tried to analyze all this at the same time, he'd freeze and get knocked out instantly. Instead, he must use what he knows in a tenth of a second and be confident with his decision-making process. Arnold believes the mind is like a muscle, and just like you need to build the ultimate body, you also need to build the ultimate mind, so you can take any challenge life throws at you. These are the 5 takeaways I took from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, and please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to help me grow this channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.